Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you out there. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News, and we have Bachelor alumni weighing in on the Twitter chaos. That's right. Twitter is imploding in front of our eyes, and we are going to discuss it a little bit and start with the conversation happening with Bachelor alumni Kira Mengistu, who has responded to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a.k.a. AOC. So... this isn't political. I don't see it that way. I don't see Twitter necessarily as political. You have workers' rights issues. You have billionaire CEO. You've got it all playing out in a public forum. This is fascinating to say the least. And like most people, I would consider myself a rubbernecker. And we know rubbernecking is when you create traffic because everyone's busy trying to look at what just went down as far as a car crash. So we're watching a car crash play out on Twitter. We're going to get into it. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also on Patreon right now as I've been sourcing this content. It's always interesting to see the behind the scenes of finding a story because I didn't know if this was going to be a story, but I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty interesting stuff. This is taking over the whole world right now. So patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want behind the scenes content. And as always, this afternoon we'll have Bachelor Rush Hour for the daily podcast. As I've mentioned in my last video, Tasha, my wife's gift guide is up and there's a link in the comment section if you want some holiday gift ideas. You put a very well thought out gift guide together along with some different cocktails you can make and things like that. Plus next Saturday, stand-up show at Rejects Beer Company in Newport, Rhode Island if you want to come to that after Thanksgiving. All right, let's jump right into it. So here's what AOC said. Shout out to all the workers at Twitter. You all built a vital place for connection and deserve so much better. Millions of people appreciate the space you built and the hard work that went into it. Thank you. Kira's response was, I don't understand this tweet. Is this shading Elon for making smart business decisions by laying off redundant employees? Or is it shading him for refusing to tolerate public disrespect from his employees? Either way, bye, girl. Now, for me, it's like you could do without the sass, but I understand in the influencer world, sometimes you're just trying to make ripples out there, and I think that's what Kira is trying to do. Now, my thoughts on Elon Musk are complicated because on one hand, we know he didn't create Tesla. We know he bought it, but he made it what it is today. So whether he's the one who's landing the rockets on their feet, right? I've never seen NASA do that. He's done things that we've never seen done before through the teams of creatives surrounding him. He busts through this Twitter door, and again, this isn't me defending him. This is me rubbernecking. He busts through the Twitter door and says, "You're fired, you're fired, you're fired." And he does all these different things. I don't have enough information for me to properly say that. What Kira's saying, which is that he's making smart business decisions. I'm not going to look at this burning dumpster fire, which is Twitter right now, and say that he's making smart decisions. I have no idea what he's doing. I have no idea what the books look like or this or that. But I think it's interesting. I mean, we look at a billionaire, Elon Musk. Don't forget, the previous CEO and founder of Twitter, also a billionaire. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know how industry standard the severance packages are. I don't know anything about that. But I do know it's fascinating to watch. Let's see a few of the reports going on. I'll try to catch you up if you haven't been a part of this or if you've been living under a rock.
Tonight, a Twitter meltdown. It all started with Elon Musk's ultimatum to employees to either work extremely hardcore, his words, or resign.
Yeah, ABC 7 News reporter Tim Johns is in the newsroom for us tonight, tracking this state of disarray. Tim.
State of disarray.
Yeah, Dan, I don't know if you guys have been on, but it's been a wild day on Twitter, to say the least. Just logging onto the platform this evening, and the top trending hashtag is RIP Twitter. At this point, a lot of people are asking, how did we get here, and what happens next? Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, fired about half the company's workforce just a few weeks ago, and since then, things have gotten even more tumultuous.
Now, I look at this and I go, we don't know exactly who he's laying off, and we don't know if these were redundant employees. But at the same time, if the business isn't profitable, like, I don't know how Twitter makes its money. It's always been valued at this level, and we look at cryptocurrency and this FTX $1 billion just vanishing. You know, we had someone worth $80 billion last week who's driving Uber in the Bahamas, right? I don't get it. And I think a lot of people need to pump their brakes and understand if they don't get it, it's okay too. We don't all have to be experts on everything. I don't know what's going down. Obviously, there's a lot of angry ex-employees out there.
In an email obtained by ABC News, Musk gave employees until 2 p.m. this afternoon to commit to working, quote, extremely hardcore or also be laid off from the company. Now, according to several sources, many of the Twitter employees who got this email did actually decide to resign, including several who work on targeting misinformation and hate speech. The perception seems to be the company is in chaos. Now, Twitter has not responded for comments, but Elon Musk has been tweeting throughout the evening, including once to say that usage had hit an all-time high.
Now, for sure, I can imagine usage is at an all-time high. I can imagine that. But when you create this type of chaos, you can't expect these numbers to stick around, right? This mess is going to have to get cleaned up. Now, The Bachelor, to relate this back to the Bachelor crowd, a large segment of Bachelor audience wants to make this about Kira. You know, her points of views. Is this political? Is she anti-AOC? Is all these different things. And I'm not willing to go there. I'm trying to criticize very specific things because in part, Kira, what she says kind of makes sense. And she goes, I don't understand this tweet because I don't necessarily understand it either. Is AOC mourning the loss of those that were laid off? I don't know. I'm not going to assume everyone who worked at Twitter were good people, but I'm also not going to assume what Kira said, that it was a smart business decision. But we do know that not only did Elon Musk overpay for Twitter, but he's still like selling billions of dollars of shares of Tesla to continue to pay for Twitter. So it's like, how did Twitter even make money beforehand? And I know there's been talk of a lot of sponsors have pulled out because of how tumultuous it has all been. But of course, this is what Twitter's become. Ella Dawson tweeted, "Why does Twitter have to die before I get to tell you all what minor celebrity son gave me genital herpes?" But this is a perfect example of what Twitter is. You say something so provocative to get people's attention, and then in the next tweet, I'm not going to say it, but you should definitely read my memoir about it. That's what Twitter is. Create a fire and then try to hose it down while promoting your podcast. Some of the comments are just wild from the threads out there. Some people are reporting that Twitter could break as soon as tonight. That was posted yesterday. Twitter still exists. According to an inside source, the internal version of the Twitter app used by employees is already slowing down. Others have said that the reason why Elon Musk shut down the Twitter headquarters, because essentially Elon Musk said this: everyone's got to show up to work. Everyone has to work in person. And then there was fear that there's going to be sabotage from employees leaving the company, that they said all offices are closed till Monday. So people are thinking, are they closed till Monday? And someone had tweeted, is this like when we went on a 2-week break from work in March of 2020 before the whole world shut down? Elon Musk could have ended world hunger and poverty, and he decided to F up Twitter for $44 billion instead. Now, I don't know the price of ending world hunger. I know that's a huge issue. But I don't also like what if we did this with the money versus that? Twitter is one of the largest media platforms in the world. If he was able to create a Twitter that had authenticity, truth, got rid of fake troll accounts and bots and all that negativity, then we could be in a good place. But is he able to put out the dumpster fire before that can happen? He tweeted this just half an hour ago. New Twitter policy is freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. Negative hate tweets will be max deboosted and demonetized. That sounds like a fake word. Max deboosted. You're going to be totally max deboosted if you don't deal. So no ads or other revenue to Twitter. You won't find the tweet unless you specifically seek it out. And we call that shadow banning. The question will become, what will constitute a negative or hate tweet? Is it a negative tweet to criticize a journalist or criticize a politician? We need to live in a world where we can criticize journalists and politicians. Now, for those that have to live on one side of a political spectrum or another, Elon then tweeted this: Kathy Griffin, Jordan Peterson, I think he spelled Jordan wrong, and Babylon Bee have been reinstated. I don't know who Babylon Bee is. Jordan Peterson considers himself a traditional liberal. Although a lot of people will think he's like an alt-right guy. But either way, he exists on one spectrum. Kathy Griffin was kicked off for, I believe, making a beheading photo with the president. I have to be careful what I even say now because I don't want to get demonetized. So my point being is, so far, he's reinstating people from different ideologies, and I think that's good. I think it was a horrible idea for Elon Musk to say something politically before the election. He basically said, if you want, X, Y, and Z, you should vote Republican. I think that's a horrible idea. It's like, now you own this company. That's like owning a newspaper and saying vote this way. And I know newspapers will endorse people, so I do understand that is also messed up. And I agree. I think it's messed up. I think people shouldn't be nudged in any direction. What we should search for and be after and push Elon Musk to be doing on Twitter is to create an honest place for people to share ideas, to not be necessarily pushed in one direction or another, and let those good ideas surface. Cream rises to the top. I believe in that. I believe the cream rises to the top. So he says Trump decision has not yet been made. So clearly they're weighing this decision heavily to bring Donald Trump back onto Twitter if they decide to do that. And he also said this applies just to the individual tweet, not the whole account. So you don't get your whole account taken down if you post some negative stuff. That negative thing just goes. Like I said, how are we going to decide what's negative and what kind of human error will exist will be the bigger problem that we had in the first place. Because the problem is like, who at Twitter is making the decisions to flag people or demonetize people? That's kind of what it all comes down to. So the conversation is way more complicated than just, slamming AOC or being pro Elon or this or that. It's way more complicated than that. I'm excited to continue seeing how it all goes down. But just a week ago, a Twitter engineer said that Twitter will break in the coming weeks, which is also kind of scary. Now they have to wonder, is it going to fail because of sabotage, because of their horrible PR campaign when they were firing people? And couldn't they have just waited a couple months and started to lay people off after the holidays? I don't know. Just a thought. I have no idea. What's interesting, though, as Kira here, to tie it back to Bachelor Nation, as Kira responds to AOC, criticizing AOC and defending Elon, Kira's boyfriend, and of course, none of this matters in the bigger grand scheme of things, Romeo Alexander is retweeting people calling Elon trash, or saying Elon could literally crash and burn one of the world's most valuable communication channels, and his dick riders will still be like, trust his plan, bro. He knows what he's doing. I'm not saying he knows what he's doing. I'm saying I'm interested to see how it all plays out. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to comment here or on Instagram, which is a safe place to be, at DNeils. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. And for extra podcast content, I appreciate everyone who's joined the podcast. It's free. Just search Bachelor Rush Hour. Link in the comment section for that and for Tasha's gift guide and for tickets to my stand-up show and everything else. Link in the comment section below. All right, folks, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you later. Bye now.